Hello there everybody, my name is Hytale, and guys, welcome back to another Hytale video. So the Hytale team / Hypixel Studios just released another Hytale blog post, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, and with that being said everyone, let us begin. So a closer look at landscape generation in Hytale. So here's how they start off, guys. They say, "Hi there, in this blog post we're going to take a closer look at Hytale's world generation system, specifically the various techniques we use to create dramatic, procedurally generated landscapes across each of Adventure Mode's zones." We first discussed this topic in January 2019, and you may wish to go back and read our introduction to World Gen in order to get a broad sense of how our rules-driven generation system works and what we're trying to achieve with it. Today we're going to get into some more specifics and demonstrate how Hytale modders will be able to customize World Gen to suit their own purpose. First though, we need to talk about noise. So everyone, moving on to Noisemaps and height map interpretation. They say, in the context of our procedural generation systems, a noise map is a set of random numbers that can be combined with a variety of functions to support a vast number of different kinds of generation. We use noise maps for lots of different aspects of Hytale's content generation system, including all of the various landscape related systems that we'll be detailing later in this article. One of the most striking uses is in the formation of the zones themselves. So everyone, there is an image here and I'm gonna put that up on screen, and from what I'm looking at, but this is showing a zone generating. I don't know if this is zone 2 or not. For all we know, it could just be a placeholder. So they continue by saying this image is from a simple visualization tool and previews the results of combining noise maps with another important feature of landscape generation, height map interpretation. In this case, the environments being simulated are the rocky plateaus of zone 2. Okay, so it was zone 2. So everybody, continuing on, they say, height map interpretation involves additional sets of numbers that allow us to establish how high or low certain noise map features will appear on the terrain being generated. By tweaking height map interpretation thresholds, we can, for example, take a set of noise maps that would create a winding waterway and adapt them to produce dramatic river canyons. Our technical artists learn noise map composition as a craft, says world generation programmer Slicky. They have a large toolbox of different noise types and operations for combining them. It takes time to learn to balance complexity, performance, and design. We're constantly discovering new ways to combine noise maps to generate unique terrain or place prefabs in unexpected ways. We're happy with our configuration of a biome's noise maps and thresholds. We implemented these rules into the game itself. So everyone, there is a clip now, so I'm gonna play that on screen, and after, I guess we can talk about what we saw in there. Okay everyone, so that was a pretty cool clip. But anyway, continuing everyone, they say this clip shows multiple noise maps being added to a landscape one after another, starting with a general landscape and then introducing the rule for zone 2, river and mountain biomes. The gradual growth in complexity that you see in this clip is for illustrative purpose. In reality, once the noise maps or thresholds for an area have been established, the landscape will generate all at once. So one thing that I just wanted to say everyone, unless you can somehow find a glitch, I don't even think we're going to be able to see like the noise maps actually happening, because I'm pretty sure when noise maps are happening, like there's a loading screen or so, and knowing Hypixel Studios, they're probably going to, you know, put up a loading screen just to sort of block that out, so that when you're in the game, everything's already there. Anyway, everyone, moving on to layers, covers, and prefabs, they say, at this stage, we've got landscape with plenty of blocks and a few major features like rivers, mountains, and shorelines. The process of giving environments their personal occurs across multiple stages, each with its own procedural generation processes. And as you can see, there is a picture of Zone 3 up on screen. So this is what it looks like when it's demonstrated, and I guess by the time the full release of Hytale comes, like it'll generate all the plants, mushrooms, and everything up. But as of right now, it looks like they've removed all of that. So moving on, everyone, they say, we start with layers. These are another kind of noise map that is used to specify both the depth of certain kinds of blocks in the terrain, as well as the kind of blocks that will appear on the surface. The screenshot above shows the various layers that comprise a landscape in Zone 3, with plants and vegetation removed to make it easier to see the underlying materials. And as you can see in this picture, everyone, it looks like Zone 3 is kind of mixing in with Zone 1, because I recognize those red trees over there. I think it was in like a progress update or something a while back. They said that they introduced something like a new area or so in Zone 1, where it was like this autumn feel or so. I don't know. So everyone, moving on, they say the next step involves covers. Covers refer to incidental environmental details like grass, foliage, mushrooms, crystal outcrops, and so on. By configuring the covers for a given area, we can tell the world gen system what kind of plants should appear on which layers. For example, we might establish that dense shrubbery should only appear on grassy layers, while moss might occur on rocky surfaces underground. Prefabs provide the finishing touches and are frequently what gives environments their specific identity. Prefabs are arrangements of blocks created by our technical artists that are distributed through the environment by the world gen system. Incidental prefabs like trees are encountered frequently by the player and are distributed like other kinds of ground cover. So there's another picture up on screen, everyone, and this is in Zone 2. So moving on, everyone, they say, here's an example of the transformation that takes place when layers, cover, and incidental prefabs are applied to a new landscape. So here's the clip, everyone, slash the video. And that was it. Moving on, everyone, they say, the prefab system also supports larger structures at points of interest, which you may remember from this blog post from March last year. We've built thousands of prefabs to support Adventure Mode's World Gen system, and modders will have the freedom to use these or build their own when customizing the world. Moving on, everyone, they say, prefabs are configured separately in order to assure that their appearance in the world is believable and feels special. Zones where large prefabs can appear are mapped out using a different kind of noise map. This is an example of Voronoi noise, which creates cell-like patterns for Hytale. We use these cells to establish where large prefabs can and can't occur. In the image above, the purple spots represent areas where a large prefab might be encountered and collectively account for about 20% of generated space. If we wished, we could increase or reduce this density. When taking all together, Layers, covers, and prefabs help us create environments that combine dynamics of procedural generation with the sense of purpose that comes from incorporating hand-designed buildings and environmental features. WorldGen is an amazing system, says technical artist Amber. It gives us so much control and allows us to be incredibly creative with the system. We've often created landscapes and showed them to Slikey, and he says, wow, I had no idea you could even do that. And there's another picture here, everyone, and we can actually take some things out of this picture. So first of all, I think that's a grizzly bear we are looking at in the corner. I think those are 2 crows or something, and there are skeletons spawning in this one prefab. So I guess this is like a huge prefab or so that has generated in this area. So everyone, they continue by saying there are other aspects of WorldGen that we haven't covered in today's blog, particularly cave systems, dungeons, and the ways that zones intersect with one another. These are huge subjects unto themselves, so we're planning to cover them separately in our next deep dive into Hytale's generation system. We hope this article has helped you understand a bit more about how Hytale's world is created. All of the systems that we've described in this post will be accessible to modders through extensively customizable configuration files. By combining asset creation in Hytale Model Maker, our block building tools, and the underlying world generation system, you'll be able to generate unique environments of your own. Here's one we put together ourselves. So looking at this picture, I'm guessing that this would take place in the future. Or so I don't know if this is a different planet or not. I don't even think this has to do with adventure mode, it's just something that they made. But nevertheless, pretty cool. And finally everyone, they end off the blog post by saying, this custom landscape uses all of the techniques outlined in this post, including new prefabs, to realize a sci-fi setting within Hytale's WorldGen system. We can't wait to see what Hytale modders are able to do. And that is it everyone for this blog post. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please feel free to leave a like, and also feel free to subscribe, as well as turning on notifications so that you guys do not miss another video like this. But with that being said everyone, I'm pretty much done here, and I will see you guys in the next Hytale/HytaleX video. Bye-bye!